Thank you very much for that. It's nice to know, isn't it, that I rock your world in a nice way. Thank you. It is quite, you get a phone call out of the blue. Hi, do you want to meet up? You rock my world. It's very exciting. And no, look, I've been with Ode for, joined at the end of last year, and they're very nice, all those people. You saw them, and they stood up, and you can't really tell whether they're nice or not, but they are nice. They're very nice. They ring you up and they, if there's been an event that hasn't gone through, it's like, oh, James, we just want you to know that event, look, they really liked you, but it's just not going ahead. They cancelled for other reasons. There was an earthquake or something. And, it's like you're going to start crying. They're also so nice. So thank you for all that. Look, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's early, it's winter, we got up early, is this going to be good? It is, it's really going to be good. I want to make you rest assured right from the start. There's some great speakers on this morning, both here and in the breakout sessions, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Because it's hard at the moment. My alarm went off this morning with a number that started with a 5, and that's just unacceptable, I think. Particularly in winter, don't you hate... I met someone yesterday who said, oh, I really like winter, and I felt like punching them because I just hate the worst ever, isn't it? And Sydney, I grew up in Canberra. People in Sydney are so pathetic with... but, you drop the kids off at school and there's all these people in parkers and, maximum of 18, got to put my ski parker on. But anyway, it'll be over soon. And this is going to get you through, well, at least 3 hours of winter. So that's good. So thank you for... So as Leanne said, I hosted the New Inventors on ABC TV for a long time, and I've done a lot of work on ABC Radio. It's good that she mentioned that, because sometimes people know that they've seen me before because I've been on television, but because television's not very important, they don't know where they've seen me before, which is why someone came up to me outside. They walked up in a very friendly way, and I thought, oh, this will be good. They might say that, I rock their world or something. And they walked up and they said hello, and I said hello, and they went, did we go to school together? And that happens to me all the time. I went to a cafe with one of my daughters I live in Bondi, which is great in summer because you can park in Marrickville. So at least in winter I can park near home, right? I went to a cafe in Bondi with one of my daughters, and I was there and the owner came up and he kind of had that, that rock my world look on his face. And he said, oh, do you mind signing the wall? We get people like you to sign the wall. And I sort of looked at my daughter like, your dad's a legend, obviously. And went over and he gave me a special pen and there's, this bit of wall with all these signatures on it. And I signed my name. And he just stared really hard at my signature. And then he looked at me and goes, mate, who are you? And I thought he was going to call the police, fair dinkum. So I just got back from Canberra, not visiting my home because I never go back there, but I had an event down there. I was doing an awards night for a large supermarket chain. I won't mention their name, but there's only 2, so it's not like it's hard. And they had all these, it was interesting actually, because awards nights, right? And they had all these, but for a supermarket chain, they have awards for like best small goods supplier and all these funny name things. There's this huge room, like 800 seats, with an aisle down the middle, theatre-style seating. And I gave it an award for best shopping trolley supplier, right? And I read out the nominees. They had a spotlight on all the nominees. I'm making a real big deal of it. And I said, and the winner of best shopping trolley supplier is, and it was this guy right at the back, and he was so excited. He got up and he ran down the aisle to get his award, and he got nearly to the stage and sort of veered off to the side and crashed into a table full of cereal manufacturers. Get it? Because that's what shopping trolleys do. Yeah, good. And I love Canberra, actually. I shouldn't be rude about Canberra, but I will be because I grew up there, so I'm allowed to be. The next morning I was in the cab on the way to the radio. And in Sydney, when they do the traffic, they do it really quickly to get it over and done with because it's sort of a chore. In Canberra, because Canberra's a town, but it pretends it's a city. In Canberra, they do the traffic, proudly. Like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we've got some traffic now. Yeah, yeah. Because we're a city, so we've got traffic, yeah. There's a big traffic jam. The announcer said there's a big traffic jam on the corner of Northbourne Avenue and London Circuit. And, luckily the lights have changed, so I think both cars should be all right. They'll get away fine. That'll be fun. And I also came back. I was in Adelaide. I went to a school reunion in Adelaide. You ever been to a school reunion? They're so they're really. I think that if you could be invisible for one part of your life, it'd be at a school reunion. Just to go around and look at everyone, but not have to sort of talk. But I went to this single-sex private school in Adelaide called Mercedes College. And it was called that, I think, because that's how all the other kids arrived each morning. And it was a single-sex private school, but it was a girls' school, right? But in my kinder year, they decided to go co-ed, just our year. And the idea was that as our year gradually worked its way up to year 12. By the time we got to year 12, the whole school would be co-ed. Which I can understand that. It kind of makes sense. Just that no one told all us boys in kindy what was going on, and all we knew was that everyone old enough was a girl. And all through our kindy year, all us boys, we just thought at the end of the year something really bad was going to happen. I remember saying to my friend Jonas, how are you feeling about becoming a woman? And he was like, I don't really feel like I live life properly as a man yet. So I just came back yesterday, and on the way back on the plane, I was sitting next to someone who had a Kindle. And, people get so excited about their new devices these days, don't they? And he had a Kindle, and he couldn't stop himself telling me about it. He said, these can contain 200 books if you want. And I said, this is great. You need that, obviously, on a 2-hour flight from Adelaide, fast reader, eh? And the batteries last for 20 hours, he said, and it only weighs 200 grams. I said, that's great. Just as he was saying all this, the flight attendant came over the loudspeaker and said, ladies and gentlemen, we're preparing for landing. Please turn off all electronic devices. So I pulled out my book. He said, mate, you should try these. They're amazing. You can read them while a plane lands. So look, we're really excited to be in Daltone House. This is a new venue. It just opened like a couple of days ago. You can see the world out there through the big, do you want to watch Play School? The arts window there. There's a square window, the circular. It's really lovely here, and we thank them for it. And some of you will see some of the other breakout rooms. There's a toilet with a foyer. I mean, that's posh, isn't it? You go into the toilet and there's like this room of mirrors. It's fantastic. I stood there for about 8 minutes just because you can see behind you because the mirrors. Oh, it's great. It's really good. Anyway, but this will be better. So here. So Daltone House, we're really happy to be here. We welcome everyone on the webcast there, watching everywhere. It's live for you who are watching. Just to prove it's live, it's 1 minute to 8 in Sydney, in Belgium. Don't know, but it's probably 1 minute to something, unless you're like Adelaide, where it's just a half-hour difference, which is silly. So we welcome all them. Thank you for joining us. You obviously can't. I mean, you would have been laughing on the bus or something, or if you were laughing, or if you don't like, you can't heckle, really. You can make rude signs, if you like, but make sure the person next to you in the bus doesn't misinterpret that. Anyway, you'll know how to do it, I'm sure. I don't need to. Great. Okay, so we welcome them. We're live streaming. Now, do comment on Twitter, please. We want you, nice ones. Don't be like those nasty people on Twitter. Follow us on @ODEmanagement and include #ODEShowcase. That's #ODEShowcase, one word, in your tweets. And do like us on Facebook. In fact, like us all the time. And we'll like you back, and we'll all like each other. But if you add a comment on Facebook or on Twitter, there's a prize at the end of the morning for the best comment. I don't know what the criteria are. But the best, I suppose, the most witty or entertaining or pithy or whatever. But if you think you can comment better than anyone else, or just any comment is good, but we'll give a prize for the best one. And the prize for that, for the best comment, is you'll be in the running to win a Leadership e-video series from Ode Management worth $1,500. So that's good. Now, it's time to introduce our first speaker. Tragically, he's from Canberra. I should have thought of that. Should have done those jokes afterwards. Stephen Koukoulas, I'm sure you know the name. He's one of Australia's most experienced and best economists. He's been Citibank's chief economist, head of global research at TD Securities, most recently senior economic advisor to the Prime Minister, Julia Gillard. So he's been there, done that. He's a public commentator. He's in the media a lot, television, ABC, Sky News. He writes a column in the Australian Financial Review. And what he's really good at, what Stephen's really good at, when you have events, it's often fantastic, isn't it, to have an economic analysis. And sometimes, occasionally, at the end of it, people go, huh, what? Nice graphs, but what did they mean? What Stephen is really fantastic at, I think, is actually taking all that complex data, analysing it really well, but then putting it at a level that really makes sense to people in business and basically telling them, what they should do next, or at least what they should think about doing next. And that's why he's nicknamed, which I sort of, he sort of goes by the moniker, the Kook. And I was saying to you earlier, is it kind of appropriate if you're like, the economics guy? And he said, well, what it sort of is meant to convey, that we're taking all this this complex discipline and bringing it to a level that's appropriate to share with people in language they can understand and gives them sort of meaningful takeout. So he'll be really good. You'll enjoy this, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Stephen Koukoulas. Make him very welcome.